in this video, we're going to talk about how to deal with inbound leads who only filled out a form. So when we move away from the model of dealing with leads who only booked a call and only dealing with leads who've already watched some sales-based video, we move to the updated model, which is trending towards what consumers are currently doing, which is filling out a form. It means they're fully willing to talk with you. They totally understand what the offer is. They understand the details of the offer. They filled out several questions and you've got that data right in front of you. Now, what do you do as soon as you get that lead? First things first, we have to address current consumer trends. Okay, so right now, you as a salesperson, you're likely one of the few people left in the entire market of people who have cell phones that do not constantly have do not disturb on, and that allows any random number to actually call through to your phone. Most regular people, the general public as a whole, your potential buyers, they've gotten the absolute shit spammed out of them over the last several years. They've had political numbers calling them. They've had random scammers calling them. They've had tons of people who just shouldn't have their phone number just absolutely hammering their phone over the last several years in a row. They've also gotten texts like that. It's crazy. So the iPhone, as an example, has that little feature inside your settings that just simply silences unknown callers. It just means if some random number calls you, your phone is automatically going to silence that call. It's not even going to ring through. The other instance is people like me right now, as an example. If I filled out a form for your offer, I'm in the middle of filming right now. My phone's on Do Not Disturb. If you called my phone, there's probably 6 or 7 other people that have tried to call my phone that I don't have saved in my contact list. By the way, there's not a chance that after this very session here, I'm going to actually pick up my phone and go through all my missed calls and call every single random number that's called me. Nobody does that. So that doesn't mean we want to give up on calling people. That just means we want to make sure that we're texting them. So as soon as an inbound lead comes in where I've got someone who actually filled out a form and expressed some form of interest in working with the business, I'm immediately going to contact that person. Yeah, I'm going to shoot him a call 100%. But here's a little trick. On the iPhone, as an example, if I first send the person a message that says, "Hey, it's Curtis," then I call them, the phone will say, yes, it is a random number, but it will also say maybe Curtis below it. That's a little trick to potentially get people to answer just by shooting them a text first. In addition to that, if someone does not answer the phone, or once again, especially if it rings through to voicemail on the first time, I'm immediately going to call back, because if I have Do Not Disturb turned on, if someone actually calls me once, it'll just go straight to voicemail. If someone calls me twice, it will ring through. And as I mentioned, if you're actually able to ring through to someone and it says maybe Curtis, as an example, I'm much more likely to actually answer that call than I am if you just dial me once and then simply just never call me back again. So even if we get the second dial to go through and they don't answer, even if they do answer, we want to make sure that we text people. We want to make sure that we are biasing towards text first communication. So the big thing, once again, is when a lead comes in, we want to text with our name. Okay. So the name is the most important part, because once again, that tricks the iPhone to potentially letting your call actually ring through. We want to make sure that we text in what I refer to as a very open-ended communication style. We want to text an open-ended question. We want to acknowledge the behavior, and then we want to ask an open-ended question. Let me give you an example. So it'll say something just like this. "Hey Curtis, just saw you filled out a form of ours online. Would love to chat with you if you are open in the next 5 minutes. If not, I have some time later today that works. Let me know if that works, or shoot me over whatever questions you may have." In that example, I've given them a few options. I want to tell you something very important. It's so important that you understand this. The ratio of reducing my no's. So as an example, if I just say, "Hey, do you have 5 minutes?" That's a 50-50. What do I mean? Do you want to talk now? That's a 50-50, yes or no. That means I have a 50% chance of no happening. Versus, remember what I just said. "Hey, it's Curtis. Saw you filled a form of ours out online. Would love to chat with you if you're open in the next 5 minutes. If not, I have some time later today. Let me know if that works, or shoot me over any questions that you have." 3 options there. So you see what I did? I reduced my no to a 25% chance. I actually increased my yes to a 75% chance. You see that? So I want to reduce my no's as low as I can. In comparison to, I have a 50% chance of no with just, hey, what time? Hey, I got time in the next 5 minutes if you can talk to me, or later today. You can also shoot me over any questions you have via text. Let me know. Boom, 75% chance of a yes. So remember, if people are not answering their phone, I want to make sure I'm biasing towards texting first. Okay, so I want to be very clear. I still want to call at least twice, because if I get voicemail first, especially, there's a high probability that that person just has do not disturb mode on. I want to make sure I call twice. So remember, once I get a lead that filled out a form, it's very important that I reach out to that person fast. Okay. Now listen, guys, I'm a marketer. I'm not a sales trainer. I'm doing all this to give you some additional perspective. I want to make this very clear with the strategies that we run for people. They get very overwhelmed with the quantity of leads that they actually have very quickly. Just know that I do respect your day-to-day. I want you to know that, and I want to just make that very clear. I know that if you wake up, you might already have like 4 to 8 scheduled calls in your calendar that day. You and I both know that there's going to be some people who don't show up. In that free time, when a new lead comes in, as a business owner myself, hopefully you and the people on your sales team will expect you to use that time to reach out to people as fast as you can. Okay, so if you're working in a small team, maybe you're one of the only people that's actually currently taking all the inbound leads. Okay, look, we all get it. You're going to get a little overwhelmed, and there's going to be people who don't get communicated to right away. But I always want you to remember this. There is so many statistics out there that validate the fact that when you text people quickly or when you call them quickly, typically within 5 minutes is a statistic. If you text or call quickly, there is a 50% chance that it goes up by a full 50% probability that they will close, or they'll at least be willing to communicate with you. And no, that's not a made up statistic. That's validated by a shitload of data. So to be extremely clear, I just want to reiterate, I totally understand if you're not capable of reaching out to somebody as fast within 5 minutes, for example, but you want to make sure that anytime you have the availability to do so, that you do it, because there's a much higher chance that these people will actually communicate with you when you do so. So once again, when a lead comes in, simply put, I want to call the lead at least twice. I want to text with my name to trick the iPhone to show up as maybe X. I also want to text an open-ended question. I want to make sure that I reduce my odds of a no as little as I can. I don't want to overwhelm these people. I want to make sure I say, hey, I got 5 minutes now. If you're open in the next 5 minutes, or I got time later today. If you can't make it right now, you can also shoot me over any questions. Boom, reduce my odds of a no to 25%. That's what you focus on as soon as a lead comes in. Let's move on to the next video and see what we should do next.